welcome back at part 2 of the guitar course. Now, it is very important that you must first work through part 1 properly before you start with part 2. The reason for that is that part 2 builds onto part 1. So the chords that you learned in part 1, we are going to use them now in part 2 as well. And we are also going to learn to play songs with 3 chords. In part 1, we mostly played songs with 1 or 2 chords. But now in part 2, we are going to learn songs with 3 chords. So what is important now is that you must remember that the chords are going to follow up on each other much quicker. So what we are going to do is when we practice the songs, we're going to take it a little bit slower and just learn the chords properly. And then we will use the recorded song to practice the song in its normal speed. Now let's first recap what we have learned in part 1. The first chord that we learned was the D or the doggy chord. Let's see if you can remember that one. Your first finger must go onto the 3rd string in your 2nd fret. And then your 2nd finger goes onto the 1st string, also in the 2nd fret. And then your 3rd finger goes onto the 2nd string in the 3rd fret. All right, let's try that once more. So it's 3, 1, and 2. All right, once more. 3, 1, and string 2. That is your D or your doggy chord. The next one we learned was the A chord. Now that one is very easy. All the fingers are in a little row and they are all in the 2nd fret. And we start on the 4th strings, 4, 3, and 2. And they are all in the 2nd fret. Let's try that once more. String 4, 3, and 2. And that is the A or the AND chord as we learned it in part 1. And the last one we learned in part 1 was the E or the eagle chord. So we start with the 3rd string in the 1st fret. So it's 1, 2, 3. And then you place your 2nd finger on the 5th string on the 2nd fret. And that one right below that one on the 4th string. That is your E or the eagle chord. Alright, let's try it once more. 3rd string, 5th and 4th. And that is the E or the eagle chord that we learned. Now the song we learned to play in lesson 11 is Jesus Loves Me, This I Know. Now you will notice that the chords follow much quicker onto each other, and that is because we are now playing songs with 3 chords and not with 2 chords like in part 1. So please be patient with yourself and practice a lot. It's important to practice a lot and make sure that you can change between the chords properly before you start to practice it with a recorded song. Fingers on the A chord. Jesus loves me, this I know. Now we change to the D chord. For the Bible tells me. Now back to the A chord. So little ones to him belong. Now we change to D. They are, and now back to A, weak but, and then E chord, he is, and back to A, strong, yes, Jesus, now we change to the D chord, loves me, now back to A, yes, Jesus, and back to the E chord, loves me, and back to A, yes, Jesus, and back to the D chord, loves me, and back to the A chord, Bible, and E chord, tells me, and back to the A chord, so done. Let's try that one more time. Jesus loves me, this I know. Now the D chord. For the Bible tells me, and back to A. So little ones to him belong. Now the D chord. They are the A chord, we, but E chord, he is, and back to A. Strong, well done. Yes, Jesus, now the D chord, loves me. Now the A chord. Yes, Jesus, and the E chord, loves me. Now the A chord. Yes, Jesus, and back to D, loves me. Now the last three is A chord, the Bible, the E chord, tells me, and the A chord. So, well done. If you still struggle a little bit with this part, I recommend that you first practice this part a few times more. And when you are ready, you can join me practicing it with a recorded song.